Hi, so Charlie giving you Friday's live trading. I hope you're very well. It's only 7:40 or so, but we've got a potential trade here coming in right now on the pound dollar, and I'm going to put a unit in. So short the pound dollar with 1 unit so far at 141.01. I'll be looking to put a few units in if I can. Um, I'm not going to go like 4 units on this one, just because although it's a nice little move we're just seeing here, I don't know um, how much movement we've got in this potentially, but it's just a nice little move. We've seen a nice little down move on the pound dollar and also on the euro dollar. So so if I go and have a look at we go and have a look at the euro. Now the euro looks more pronounced than obviously it is than the pound at the moment, but the pound's got a little bit more clear air below it. So that's why I've looked to the pound. At least the pound's got a bit more clear air there. So than the euro. The euro's straight into a lot of other support in some of the other time frames. So yeah, a short in play. And what we're going to do is going to target yesterday's lows. So it's around about 140.77, somewhere like that. So on a little pullback, I'll look to get another unit in. So nearly there. So let's get a second unit in here at 038. So second unit's just gone in at 038. As far as stops are concerned, I'll put the stop up at around about 22, 23 above this high here, the secondary high. So basically, this is the high of this current hourly bar, and we'll see how we go. Anything else I need to do? Not particularly. If we come up a little bit more, then I'll get a third unit in, but I'll only put the 3 units in this morning. So I'll just get these stops sorted out. I'll press pause while we're waiting. Okay, so just back, and so this is how cable's looking at the moment. So as we can see, we've got this nice trend line that's here that we're going to see if that's going to um, get broken this morning, because we're right on it, as you can see there. So but I don't mind that. I don't mind the fact that we're right on the trend line, because it's been tested a number of times now. So that's okay. So we're only looking for this purple line down here, which is yesterday's low. These purple lines plotted on this chart on the e-signal here just show yesterday's high and yesterday's low. So that's all I'll be looking for. I mean, I'm sat here with the guys in the trading room, and we might look at banking half at that level, and then maybe a bit more, a bit further down, and see if we can get a little bit more of a run on the second half. So we will look at that. But anyway, we shall see. The reason I didn't take the euro dollar this morning, the euro's had that nice move down here on the hourly, but you can see how it's all in this congestion. It's not quite so clear. Now, don't get me wrong, the euro's got a trend line itself across these lows, which it may want to go for a break off. So great, but I see the pound's breaking down a little bit more now. But yeah, it's just that little bit cleaner on cable this morning. So that's that. Right, we shall come back to it. Is there anything else I need to mention on cable? Yeah, it was just everything was pointing down. We had all the momentum starting to fire down. So it's a little bit early, but because it's not even obviously 8 o'clock yet. But yeah, we'll see if cable can get down there, and then I'll have to make that decision as to whether to come all out if it can get down there, or not. So we'll make that decision at the time. Oh, now what happens if cable comes up and stops us out? So I've got about a 20 pip stop on this trade. If cable comes up and stops us out, what we will be looking at is the Aussie dollar actually. If cable comes up, then I'll be watching to see if the Aussie dollar comes up. If the Aussie dollar comes up, then there's something that's interesting with the Aussie, is that it's done what I call an air kiss of, this is the yellow line here, is my 200 period moving average. And so I've got to be careful, because if I draw that line on like a little squiggly line and then put like a little arrow on like that, and it looks like a completely different picture, doesn't it? Anyway, so we did like an air kiss of the 200. What was that, yesterday? And so the potential, so the guys in the room laughing. The potential is if the Aussie's going to come up, it may want to come back up for that to actually hit it at some point. So if I'm wrong on cable, then it could well be that I end up getting in a long position on the Aussie dollar. So we've got plenty going on here this morning. Press pause for now. Right, okay, just back. We can see that the pound is coming up. So I've already hinted that the Aussie dollar was going to be one that we would look at on the long side, and this could almost act as a bit of a hedge. If the pound's going to carry on going up, then right, okay, so long Aussie dollar right at 28 there. So I've just put one unit in on the Aussie at the moment, and I'll put a second unit in if it does pull back. So the unit's just gone in at 28. I've just put it in. All the momentum's up, so I'm not faffing around waiting for a pullback. I always like to get a unit in when everything's going up the way it is. We've got that level, that target level, ultimately that 200 period moving average right up here. So that's going to take all day to get up there, without a doubt, if it's going to get up there. So at least I've got a bit of a hedge against cable. Now, what happens if cable comes flying back down and then Aussie turns all the way back around? Then yes, the potential is there that obviously I will give back the gains I lose. The loss on the Aussie dollar would be be a dent into the gains on the pound. So at the moment we shall see. I'm not going to add, if we just come back down here at the moment, if the Aussie dollar just comes down, I won't add that second unit unless I get stopped out of the cable, because otherwise all that'll happen is I'll end up with 2 units on Aussie, 2 units that I've got on cable, and then I won't they'll just cancel each other out pretty much. So that's the plan at the moment. So plenty going on here this morning on Friday morning. I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back, and we've been sitting on this. We've been having, it's now what, 10 past 10 this morning, and the pound dollar is creaking its way down for us. So the target, as you remember from earlier, was is down here at yesterday's lows. But is there the potential that if it does get down to there, that it could go lower and have a slightly bigger run? Of course, there's always the potential. So what we will do, or what I will do, is aim to bank half if it gets down to yesterday's lows. So what I need to actually do now is sort out my deal tickets. Now the only thing is I can't show you the account today. I can show you, I'll take a screenshot of the ticket, but I'm not going to show you the account because I'm in loads of swings as well at the moment. So what we'll do is initially we're going to get on one of these 2 units. We're going to put the target in, so let's do that. 140.77. So it will bank one of those. Remember, I hit it with 2 units, and then rather than putting a limit order in on the other one, because this is a direct FX account, I can't just take half off of it. It doesn't work that way. So what I do is I go back to GBP. Okay, change this to a 50,000, so it's a half lot, and now I'm going to put an order in to buy 50,000 at 140.77. So if it comes down to 140.77, it'll cash me out and it'll buy half. That'll mean that I'll only have a net 50,000 short. Okay, so indirectly then what I've done is I've taken 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to put a buy limit in at 140.77. Yeah. Okay. So that way, if it does come down to my target, because I'm heading off to the gym soon, if it does come down there while I'm out, then it will bank one of the units. I've got 2 lots in, so it'll take one of the lots off. The other one, what it'll actually do is buy half a lot, so that'll then only leave me with half a lot net short then. So I'm still indirectly net short by doing that. Okay, so that's what we're doing there with the pound, if it can get down there. Now what about this Aussie dollar trade that I put in earlier on? Because that's come off. There we go. So the Aussie dollar's come off, but that's okay, because that was always going to be a hedge anyway against the it's not come down to the stop. Remember, the stop was down at 77.04, 05. So to take this down to the smaller time frame, I see it's got down to 77.11 or so, but it's not got down to the stop yet anyway. So that's where we're at. So we're a little bit underwater, obviously, at the moment on the Aussie dollar, but we are, and we're a bit in the money on cable, but it's not run all that way yet. So we're still looking for about 25 pip run on cable if it can get down there, and then we'll take 3/4 off down there, and then we'll take it from there, and we'll make a decision as when I get back as to what we want to do with the remainder. But there is the potential to have a bit more of a run down a bit lower on cable down into the lower 140s. So we'll hold a half a lot for that. Okay, I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back, and it's now 11:30. So I've been to the gym and stuff, and let's have a look at this pound dollar, because you can see it's come all the way back up again now. So it had a nice run down this morning, and it's been down to what, 140.85, so we're up like 17, 18 pips, and it's come all the way back up. Remember, my stop's only at 22, 23 up here, so it's getting closer towards my stop. And this is the thing, it doesn't matter what type of trading you do. You could be a day trader, or you could be a swing trader. Sometimes you're going to be in trades which are in a nice enough amount of profit, but they don't get to your targets, and then they come all the way back up and stop you out. That's just trading. So it's the same for swing traders. The difficulty for swing traders is that it might take a week or 2 weeks for them to find out that sort of thing happens. And that's just the way it is with swing trading as well. So anyway, before you say, oh Charlie, why didn't you trail your stop down? I don't trail the stops down a lot of the time, because then you're not given a market wiggle room or room to breathe. So you start trailing your stops, then you end up just finding yourself getting stopped out too often, only for it to then carry on in your direction. So you can't always do that. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, of course. So anyway, we're still watching cable, and we'll see what's going to happen, but it's looking like maybe it's had its chance to come down. I was just saying this to the guys in the trading room. Had its chance to come down today, but as we can see, it's turned. Now, it could still roll over again yet. Fine, that's fine if it does, but it's certainly looking like it could be on the turn, and maybe then carry on with that resumption of the overall trend. So we shall see. Now let's go and have a look at the Aussie dollar, because if cable comes up, hopefully the Aussie's not done a lot this morning, but if the Aussie comes up, if the Aussie pokes up, then I will look to get that second unit. We only put the one lot in on Aussie dollar, so if it does give me a little bit more, let's go down to the smaller time frames. If it pops up or looks like it's holding, then I'll put another unit in on the Aussie dollar, and may well do it a bit sooner actually, but get that second unit in, and and see if that can have that run up there to that hourly 200 today. So that is definitely on the cards. I'm just watching it at the moment. So in fact, I know we've come down to some support here. I could put it in here. I was going to wait until it came up, but then sometimes I'll just wait and see. I'll give it 5 minutes, and then we'll see how it's behaving here, and then I'll make a decision. Come back in a minute. Okay, looks like we're going to be putting that second unit in on the Aussie then. Up she comes. So let's bring the deal ticket across so you can see it. That'd be useful, wouldn't it? Okay, let's get that second unit in. Long at 22. So after that original entry this morning up at 28, it's come down to minor support, only on a 5-minute chart and 15-minute chart, but it may well be enough with the way the cable's looking like it's turning. And Aussie always had that potential to have that run, as I've said, up to that hourly 200, and which is also the 4-hour or the 4-hour 50s in a similar area. So I mean, don't get me wrong, that could take till tonight for it to get there, but that is at least a potential. So hopefully I haven't put that in and then just see them both just roll over, because if they were both to roll over, both the Aussie and the pound, then it'll end up just being, they'll cancel each other out. It'll just be a flat day. That's why I only put the one unit in this morning. But the way that cable's been coming up and looking like it's going to probably stop me out, cable, there it is, then it seemed like the appropriate time now, and the way that the Aussie's turning there as well, to finally put that second unit in. We shall see. I shall press pause for now. Sorry, it's a bit of a longer one today. Okay, just back, and I have now finally been stopped out of cable. So let's do a quick screenshot of the cable position. So there it is. So lost 307 on the cable because my entries were a net 03 net, and I got stopped out at just a bit above 122. I said it would be around about 123 by the time I get stopped out. So that's the cable trade. So nothing too major, and but I've been stopped. Bit of a shame because it was working its way down, and as I said earlier on, but it's come all the way back up and stopped us out. The Aussie dollar, let's go back to the Aussie dollar. So I'm long this Aussie dollar still now. And I see it's coming up at the moment. So if now I've got the 2 units in the Aussie dollar, if the Aussie dollar works its way up to that target zone, it's up at 77.65 on the hourly. The 4 hourly is 77.60. So it's whichever one comes first, basically. So I don't know if it's going to do it today, this afternoon, or this evening, but that's what I'll be looking out for. So this video could take until then. If it is going to come up, let's have a look. Is that feasible? Looking at the daily chart, 77.60 odd. Well, it'd be right way back up here, but yeah, it's feasible. It could do it. If we get to late this afternoon and it's just sort of languishing around, then I might call it a day on the video and then just say, well, look, that's the target, and maybe it hits it on Monday. But for now, I'll keep the video running. So that's what we're in now. If this Aussie dollar does get up there, let's say I make around about 35 pips. So I lost, how many pips was it on cable? About 20. So I'll get a net sort of somewhere between around about just below 15 pips net out of it. So it won't be any super big day today, but it still has the potential to be a profitable day. Now, before I actually press pause, there is another potential trade that I've been looking at, and that's on this euro dollar. Because the euro dollar is starting to turn up. Now the euro got a bit sloppy this morning as well, as I said about when we looked at this first thing this morning, but it's turned around and I'm getting some momentum creeping in across the board. You probably can't see it all there, but anyway, the price action is all turning to the upside. So I'm looking at this euro with the potential to put a long position on at some point here this afternoon. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to see it break out here. Breakout, then maybe we get a pullback, because overall you can see this trend line up here. If I come out to a 4-hour chart, what the euro's doing is it's in a 4-hour channel here, and okay, so it's come down into the mid channel. I was originally hoping that it was going to come down and carry on coming lower, but it's held, and the potential is there now for the euro to work its way to the top end of this channel and then maybe break out. So looking at the daily chart, that could well be a trade for a potential to hold on to then break out. So I'm going to be looking at this afternoon here, and possibly fairly soon to see if I can get a long trade on. So if we get a bit of a breakout, then a pullback, then I'll put just one lot in, just one lot. But I think it's worthwhile putting that in as well. So I've got the position still on the Aussie, obviously. The Aussie is probably a bit of a mix at the moment. Yeah, it's got the 2 units. The one from this morning I entered at 28, and I just got this other one I just got long at from 22. So we'll just have to see how that goes. But yeah, euro dollar, we'll come back to it. Might get a unit there. Yeah. Okay, just back, and I've just taken this trade long on the euro dollar. Just got in at 49 actually, with a stop down below today's lows. And I've completely forgotten to actually do it live as we were doing it. I was taking the trade with the guys in the trading room here and forgot to press record. Anyway, we've just entered at 49, and well, I say we. I've entered at 49 and stopped down at. I'm going to put that stop in a moment. I think at about 16. I think it is. And then just see if it can run up there today. So let's have a look and see what we're at. So we're only in the 2 positions now. Obviously cable got stopped out, I've shown you that. So I've got the existing position on the Aussie dollar. So that's doing okay. It's back up to the original area where it was this morning. So I've just taken the e-signal charts down there on my other screens at the moment. So that's doing okay. It's at the moment. We need to see that break out, obviously. And the euro's had a bit of a pullback, and we'll see if that can turn its way back up. I'll just bring up the other charts and we can go through that again. Okay, it's now 10 past 5 in the afternoon. I've been out most of the afternoon, and we can see that the euro dollar, first of all, I got in that euro dollar at 23.49. It's come up a bit. It's up at 59 now. It's coming up towards that trend channel. So let's have a look at that trend channel again. So what I'm looking for is for it to get up to this trend channel and then potentially break out. So nothing's going to happen now going into the end of obviously the day here. So this is one for me to hold over the weekend. And likewise with the Aussie dollar as well. So let's go and have a look at that. So let's have a look at the Aussie. Putting it up over to the Aussie dollar. Make sure you can see all this. Yeah, you can. Now the Aussie dollar's pulled back a bit. Yeah, it had a nice run up. Oh, blimey. See, I've been out this afternoon. I hadn't realised how far it had gone up. But it doesn't matter. It hadn't got to target. So the Aussies had a nice run up, and it's pulled back. It's back at 77.20. So, but the target remains the same. So just got to sit on it going into, there's the 4-hour chart here, going into Monday, I suspect, as well. I don't suppose it's going to do anything now either. So yeah, so anyway, that's about it really. So let's do some screenshots again of the, now we already have cable, that was down 307. Let's have a look at the euro. Oh, so I'm just laughing because it's only obviously very small. It's just 1 unit. So I've got that 1 unit in euro that I've got in. Oh, just noticed I hadn't got round to putting the stop loss in. My God, see that we all make mistakes. I was so busy today in the trading room while I was doing the video review, I completely forgot to put the stop loss in. I'm going to do that now. Anyway, the entry was at 123.49. Currently is at 58 as I'm just taking that screenshot. So that's the open on the euro, and the open position on the that is bad that I forgot to put the stop in. See, too busy multitasking. And then the Aussie, we've got 2 positions on the Aussie, if I can find them, because I've got loads of positions open at the moment across different markets. Oh, there they are. So take this screenshot of the Aussie. Oh, it's a whopper. So there we go. So remember, we got the first entry was in at 28 and the second entry was in at 22. So my stops are obviously in with the Aussie down there, and it's sitting at whatever that is, minus 74 currently. So and the pound lost 307. Now if these get up to target on Monday, then effectively I'll make way more than I lost on cable. So it's still looking okay potentially for the end, but it's not going to happen today, unfortunately. So I'll have to log today as I'll log it as a losing Friday today, but basically just we've got 3 trades. We've had 3 trades and still got 2 of them running. So one of those days, not a lot. When you put it into perspective, if we go out to the daily charts and we look at well, there's the Aussie, so it's not a big day today. Let's have a look at the euro. Yeah, not a big day either, is it today? But it's holding up okay. It's doing all right. And we're looking to see if that has a breakout on Monday or not, because it is very choppy here when you look at the daily charts. But it's looking like it's geared that it certainly has that potential to go up there and maybe break out of that channel now. And what else have we got? What else was I trading? The pound. The pound in the end had a, again, not a big day there. So the pound, let's go and have a look at that. Because remember, I got stopped out that pound. It was coming down nicely, and we were nicely into profit, but it couldn't quite get far enough, and then it's turned up. So the jury's still out, because who knows what the pound does next week, and the same with the euro. But the euro just looks like it's edging towards that trend channel to then go for a breakout. So we'll see when we come into next week. Anyway, no live trading next Friday because it's Good Friday. So I'll leave you to it for now, but I'll be back in touch in the middle of next week.